Call the meeting to order. We are going to skip over the invocation and pledge since we already had them. Just because I do see a member of the public here, just want to let you know that you do have an opportunity to speak. If you would like to, you can fill out one of the cards on the back and give it to Ms. Carla. All right, so we'll begin with item 2.1, approval of minutes, Blaze County School Board regular meeting, August 21, 2025 at 9 a.m. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Lucky, we have a second by Ms. Clement. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, item 3.1, update of new elementary school.
Guess that's me. I'm used to someone else doing that. We had a meeting actually we had a meeting yesterday. Usually we have it on Thursdays, that's why someone's not here today. We met with Wiseman Construction, but also people from Culpeper, and we did a walk through the school. It's amazing how quickly it's going up right now. When we saw the walls go up, that was amazing, of course, but then now what's going on inside. All the drywall is up in all the buildings. They started the ceiling grids, the ceiling grids all the way from the cafeteria all the way through the office. In fact, I walked through there today. They've done most of the painting. They've done all the painting on the bottom floor, and they've done most of the painting on the second floor. They poured concrete sidewalks where the playground's going to be, around the playground. They poured the concrete pads for the air conditioning units, and most of the air conditioning units are being installed. The red brick is almost completed. In fact, we're just probably about a week from doing that, and we're going to put the gray brick into the, I guess about alcoves, those areas. And really, I don't know if, I think most of you knew about that, we talked about that at one point.
The brick.
The red brick was, they actually sent 20 to 30,000 bricks somewhere else. They're supposed to come to us, but they went somewhere else. We chose to go with the gray brick. I think it's going to look a lot better personally, and kind of surveyed people too with that. And we went with that, not only does it look better, but they wouldn't be able to actually start a new run of that current red brick until January, and we want to be in it by January. I mean, we could have put it off, we could have painted the areas, painted them red that were blocked, like around the air conditioning units or around the dumpsters, even around the playground, the PE pavilion. So we chose to go this way because we want to get this project finished and it's going to look nice.
Do you have a rendering of what it looks like with the gray?
I do.
Could you share it with us?
I can. Yeah, it's on my desk right now. But right now they're in the process of leveling the roads. They're going to be inside for the parent drop-off pickup, and also the road where the buses are going to be going in. The playground equipment has been delivered, and once we get that all graded, over the next 2 weeks, you'll see the playground equipment going up as well. I think in 2 weeks, September 16th, I believe it is, the first lift of asphalt will go on. So now if you walk around, your shoes won't get out there and stuff like that. But they're working on the cafeteria floor. We're actually in the cafeteria itself, or the kitchen itself. They have a certain kind of flooring they're putting in there, so that it's very hard and cleans very easily. Any questions on what's going on?
Did you want to tell the board about our idea to use part of the funds as our repayment?
Yes, we've been given some information that we could use any leftover funds that we had in the special facilities toward our repayment. Dr. Barfield and I talked to Father Brown and Rick Vermillion. Rick Vermillion is actually the head of educational facilities, about making sure that we could do that. And he said, no, we cannot do that. we have to use them, we have to use the funds for the projects that we have, or else that money gets back to the state. One positive we can do is we did some owner direct purchasing, like the HVAC systems. What we did is we purchased them, and when we purchased them, we got we paid the full thing, and we got our tax rebate for those. That tax savings money that we receive, we can use to as part of a payback. And right now, we've got about $630,000 that we've received because of saving money on taxes. Again, we can send that money back to the state as part of our repayment.
And they said we were in a very unique situation. He said most people in the state are not in the situation we are, because we actually have to spend money and other people are requesting money. So that's a good thing for us. But once again, it has to be spent on what we originally said that we were spending the money on. We can't put it in our general fund or anything like that.
Which isn't a problem.
Right.
We were gonna try and skimp and save so we can make that payback. And in the end, it would have made a much lesser project. What I'm talking about is the remodeling, refurbishing of those two buildings into offices. Also, instead of skimping a little bit on the school itself, I know that we wanted to use that money so that we could apply for special facilities funding as quickly as we could, whatever we're going to use, but in this instance, we're not going to be able to. So we're going to go ahead and follow through. We're going to make these projects nice like we had originally intended them to be. Nicer, I guess I could say.
Can you do upgrades to the elementary at this point
Sure.
with that?
Like
Playground floor, like
like
that rubber stuff on the playgrounds? That stuff's awesome.
we might be too far along for that. Yeah. We do have sails over the top of the playground. We have shade.
The sales? Oh, good.
Sails.
That's important.
Oh, yeah, it's very important.
If we want to go take a tour, do we need to make an appointment with you or?
You can do that, yeah. You can just drive up here and, in most cases, I'm around. Just ask all the other directors, I'm always in my office, right?
Every time I go looking.
They can find me, yeah. But yeah, if you wanna go for a tour, I'll take the whole group can go for a tour again if you want to, whenever you want. Just let me know.
Now what they're doing painting though, they're gonna tell you, don't touch the walls, don't touch, because now it's like.
There are some areas, well, like they just, a couple of stairwells, we just got done painting when we went on our tour yesterday, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's one thing you mentioned, they just be careful, you don't touch the walls, you don't wanna have paint all over your clothes and stuff like that, so. But what happens when they put the ceiling grids in now they're dropping the sprinkler heads for, the fire sprinklers. And the electricians are falling behind putting the lighting into the grids before we start putting the ceiling tiles up. So when you go into a room now and you actually have that ceiling grid over there, you can really get a really good feel as to what the room's gonna feel like. And I've also been talking to Mr. Thomas and Ms. Summeralls about when we want to start putting up our smart boards. My idea is we want to try and get the brackets up for those smart boards and get a template of how the board is going to go up. That way, we'll have them put the whiteboards up first, and then we can put our boards on after that, so everything fits and matches together.
Was the electric fitted for it?
Yes. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, right there.
The last meeting, I think it was John, whoever gave the report, said they were having a little issue getting the electricity turned on with the city. Has that been resolved?
By Dr. Barfield, yes. In fact, that was Friday. Actually, Dr. Barfield, she spoke to the people at Buzz Electric, and they were more than happy to help out. In fact, they turned power on Friday afternoon. one of the recent things that we've been talking about are sidewalks. And, we had one option that I put out there, that we extend the sidewalk on West Avenue, so that we go up to, I guess it's Avenue K, and then we go east towards the rodeo grounds, and that way we connect to the sidewalk that's on the west side of the rodeo grounds. It just was a lot of crossing. We thought as though there'd be a lot of kids that may be coming from the east, that would may have to go all the way around there and try and do as they do right now at the elementary school, sneak through the driveways and stuff like that. So what we're looking at right now is we're gonna do an extension of the sidewalk from the west side of the school district office. And it's gonna go all the way down past the bus garage, kind of towards the baseball field. And we're gonna put a student walk gate and a sidewalk will be on the south side of the property by the wall, by the 8-foot wall. And that way we'll put a student gate in there, or a walking gate in there that we can use a buzzer for. So like in the morning, if kids are coming from that side, they'll have a safe place to walk and come in from the south end. We're also going to extend the sidewalk from West Avenue all the way to the road where those apartments are, so that if there are students that are in those apartments, they're not walking close to West Avenue. They're actually on the sidewalk for safety.
Any other questions? Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Barfield, for getting the electricity.
So is that Blades Electric or City of Moorhead?
Thanks, Electric.
We pay the city.
So the city has their electricity.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so it looks like we have nothing for item 4 for information, presentation, discussion, so we'll move to the consent agenda. Does anyone have any items on the consent they need to pull? All right, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion from Ms. Prowan,
Second?
second Mr. Lucky, any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. All right, we'll move to item 6.1, approval of travel expenses, September 2025. Item 6.1. I have a motion to approve the travel expenses.
Make a motion to approve the travel expenses. 6 point.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Lucky, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Provine, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye, okay. Motion carries, all ayes. Item 6.2, approval of park hearing officers recommended order between Glades County Teachers Association versus the School Board of Glades County, Florida. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Lucky, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Brumwine. Is there any discussion? Does anyone want to talk to Mr. Rayball about that, or does he want to present, or Dr. Barfield?
Well, I just wanna say that the last time that this was, looked at was, I believe, 1975.
1975, yes.
So we're
Would you like to talk about
updating, so it's a good thing. I just,
Do you have more to add, Mr. Rayball?
Well, there are positions that, I'm sorry, the old, our agreement left out people like, occupational therapists, staff specialists, media specialists, counselors, and counselors, and the definition of a classroom teacher as is, you're in section, sorry about this, I'm aggravated about something else, and section A refers to classroom teachers, and then section B, we are first to other instructional personnel who can contribute to the counseling of a kid, therapy and all that kind of, and they're there. And most of those people were not on the list from 1975, so all we did was just take people who are in section B and put them on the purpose. I think we added about five or 6 people to the.
Thank you for
That's
updating
it.
that. Appreciate that.
That's all it is.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you, Mr. Redball. Redball.
Mike?
Mike?
Redball. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6.3, approval of NCD Communications and Glades County Schools, Moorhaven Middle High School Access Control additions. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Have a second? Motion by Ms. Prolong, do we have a second? Second by Ms. Clement. Mr. Gressett, do you want to tell us about this?
Sure.
please?
This is to get swipe access for staff in the vestibule in the office. And so when teachers and staff come into the front office, of course, they've got their swipe access, they're ready to get into the front office entryway. But in order to get back to the area where the offices are and where they check in, right now there's a locked door for safety reasons. And right now, the receptionist has to get up and open the door for everybody when they're leaving and unlocking in the morning. So just for safety, we're planning on putting swipe access on it so that the same swipe access that allows them to get into other doors in the school building will allow them to get in there. Along with that, I'm going to bring to you a quote, once I get the quote. But we're looking at putting a storefront type placement in front of where the receptionist is. So we'll have the shatterproof glass in front of that person just to make that whole area much more safe.
So, Mr. Gressett, you have this down as capital outlay expenditure, not safety?
Currently right now it is, yes.
Okay,
And we actually received, last year we received $82,000 in school safety money. In previous years, we had received $42,000. The state decided to cut our budget back to $42,000 again. Of that $42,000, we have to give our proportionate share to the charter school, which is about $6,000. They're about 70% of our student population. So we ended up with about $36,000. And this is something that we can use money towards in this area. 36,000 doesn't go very far when you're talking about, swipe access, lockdown access, you're looking at camera replacements and stuff like that, but, so we take it as far as we can.
so on our financial statement, can you show that, this school safety money he's talking about? And can you show that this came out of that, so we can keep up?
I haven't done that budget yet.
Okay,
It's not due until December.
okay. But I want her to show it to us, what it's, how much you're spending out of it,
Yeah,
so.
you have to approve the FSEC first.
Okay.
School safety assessment.
And that's a sure thing grant, right? That's not
Yes.
something, I mean, everybody that applies gets it.
Yes,
Okay.
we get the minimum amount is $42,000.
Great, that'll be awesome. Any other questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Oh, that
Playgrounds
must
on
be
the
nice.
back too. Well, it's not showing like the front,
Mhm.
where the air conditioners are, but there's also the grade in that too as well. Makes
What
some
did
extra
you do
copies.
for AI? Right.
I said, what did you do before AR? Do you remember where you were when mine, how you came out?
I'm trying to make enough for everybody.
Do you remember? I know, I was in the, we were in the training, and I wrote the email about, was it cows or something you said, and I wrote it for you, and you were like,
Yeah,
I played with it that day and haven't touched it since.
I use it all the time.
I So I have a friend that she is a teacher in a district up in North Florida, and their superintendent is making it where they have to teach the students. And she's refusing to actually teach it because she feels it's against her right as a teacher. Because she feels it's against her religion or something. And anyway, I think it's gonna be the next big, talk at all of our meetings.
And backward playground, that's just that's actually the colors that we're gonna have on the playground. It doesn't show the sails, we're gonna be at the top. And also, on the east side of that, near the cafeteria, there would be just like, it'd be the same size concrete area as the PE pavilion, be 42 or 42. It'll be for student use for like basketball and foursquare and those kind of things. So we want to be careful with this, getting too much equipment, I think, because it takes away from the free area so that they can kick the soccer ball or again.
What's the name, the way that the bricks are laid in the gray, they are,
Herringbone.
Herringbone, yeah. Thank you, I couldn't remember, thank you, Chris.
Today, but
Oh, yeah, there's trees too. Yeah.
that's good.
All right, okay, good, move to item 7, there are no amended agenda items, so we'll move to number 8, general public comments. Having none, we'll move to item 9.1, superintendent's report.
Just a couple of things, there was an incident, I wanna say last week concerning, a school bus. It happened out in Buckhead Ridge, and it was very minimal, I think Mr. Thomas is here if you want to discuss with him. But it was, I wanted to set the presence or the tone for anyone else that they need to understand that they cannot get on our buses under no circumstances, that the school bus is an extension of our school district, and that, that we would not tolerate any type of, any person getting on our buses. Do you wanna say something about that?
Yes, please, thank you. Thank you.
We don't want you to stay here and then not get to teach us something.
Good evening. The incident was on August 26th of last week or week before. What happened was as the driver was buckling in a student, there's the front partition there, and the parent wanted to talk to the driver. So he stepped up onto the bus a couple of steps so that he could talk to her over the partition. I believe it was his child they were buckling in. And there was no malicious intent. However, she did report it to me, and as a result, last week, over the summer, the state passed some new rules regarding that. And last week in Hernando County, a person got on a bus with some malicious intent, and he was pulled off the bus and arrested. I wanted to give our drivers some clear direction on what to do, so I typed up an email and sent it to them with very clear direction on how to handle it. And then Dr. Barfield shared some stuff on our social media pages. So that's where we are on that. I feel like my drivers have a good understanding of how I like them to handle any situation where a person gets on a bus. The long and short is an adult that does not work for the school board should not be getting on that bus. So everything can be handled from the door. We're actually also getting stickers to go on the outside of the door that are basically a trespassing sticker.
Thank you very much,
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate it.
Also, last week, we had a very busy week in transportation, but also last week, our cross-country team was on their way to a meet up in Tampa,
St. Petersburg. Tampa.
St. Petersburg, Tampa, and was rear-ended. It was just a small, it was like a small dent. Medics were not called to the wreck. There was a state trooper, sent them on their way. They drove to the meet, they participated in the meet. When they got back to school the next day, a couple of kids said that they didn't feel good or whatever. We had EMT come, check everyone out, everyone was fine. It was just kind of needed to get checked out, just to be on the safe side. And I do apologize because for some reason I thought that I did notify you all of that. And I do apologize. If, I think we got kind of not ahead of ourselves, but we were a little confused, I had called Sheriff Hardin and I said, hey, do you need to call the sheriff up there? Because I know like in a superintendent world, I would call a superintendent and say, hey, I just had a family of kids in a car accident. They're in your district. If you know anybody, just as a kind of like a courtesy. Sheriff Hardin said I can call the sheriff, but it honestly was not, there was very little damage. It was not our fault. And everybody was okay, and like I said, they continued on the route, they ran the race and they came home. So, I do apologize, and I should have called you on that.
Was an accident report filled out?
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to let you all know about that, because if you hear it, we were in a slight incident. I'm going to be emailing you all a list of items that, my directors have put together. And it's basically in the past 5 years what we've accomplished. And I say we, meaning the board and, the directors and the teachers and the students. And, some things are really big, $56, $57 million school. And other things are very small, but everything, is important because it got us to where we are as a district today. So I'm not gonna hand you that because it is lengthy. It's many pages and I want you to be able to look through it and what I ask you to do, I'm gonna give you guys some homework, is to go through it and if there's questions on anything, and I try to break it down, it's bulleted, but if you have questions on, okay, tell me, how does this relate to our general workings of the school district? How could this make us a better school district? I ask you to ask me those questions because I'd like to be able to provide you with some background and some reasons why it's so important that we appreciate the wins. Even, we have losses, there's things that we have to do on a daily basis and things that we're not successful at. But this is one of the things that, and I say one of the things, it's hundreds of things that we have to be proud of. I'm also going to be, or I've already sent you this just came up actually today. I'm going to be sending you a contract, our contract with Booker T. Washington. And several years ago, I know we talked about some of this, but it came up today. Brian was talking with facilities. Brian?
Yeah, the State Department, we're looking at school numbers.
At the school numbers, like we're 22, whatever. And something that nobody could find a contract, we couldn't find anything, but finally, I did find a contract, the RCMA, Collier County was able to locate it. And so Mr. Hughes and Gary Clark was the superintendent of schools when this was done. It is a 30-year contract. And it ends here my mom actually signed it, she must have been the chairman of the board. But, it ends in 2029, I believe. Yep. So, obviously, it's not something we need to think about today, but I think that we need to eventually maybe, have some conversations about that property and kind of what our plans are moving forward. I know we have another contract with the county, and I'm not sure when that contract is up. I think that is also a 30-year contract.
It's 30-year lease.
So I don't think the 30 years are the same.
No.
So we need to have that conversation.
And do you know the size of the property?
I do, yes ma'am, and I'll send you all from the property appraiser's website, I'll send it to you, that way you can just look and see. It gives you the dimensions, I don't know it offhand, but I can send it to you.
Is it, like, I'm just wondering, in their lease, is it 2 acres, and then the county lease, is it 5 acres? It's like 9 acres total or something. I'm just wondering, does it state that, the amount of property? Or is it just the use of the building?
Well, I'll just tell you, I'm not a real estate lawyer, I just play one on
You
TV.
pretend, yeah.
But I will tell you, a couple of things just jumped out at me when I read through this. Number one is they have the tenant's right of first refusal, and I'm not sure if in the other one, if they have the right to refusal. If we were to sell it, I think that would come into play. And then the next item that I felt was very interesting, that I thought that you all would also find interesting was that, well, I found it so interesting I didn't highlight it, but it basically says in here that, if the tenant decides that, or they no longer are, an incorporation or a business under this entity, that, the parties agree that a memorandum of lease which acknowledges the existence of the lease, its terms, and the binding effect on successors and assigns can be recorded by either party, and both parties agrees to execute the same in a recordable form. That's not it. But anyway, it basically says in here where if one of the entities was to no longer be in business, that it null and voids the entire contract.
And that's with our CMA.
Yes, ma'am. So, I just wanted to, I've already emailed this to you, I sent it to you probably, 2 hours ago. And just to give you a heads up, it's with Redlands Christian Migrant Association, and they also sent me, and I think I also forwarded you the insurance of what they're paying for insurance as well, because they have to keep it insured and all of that. Okay? We received a letter from the Inspector General, I know Mrs. Drake, you received a copy. It was, obviously, when people make a complaint and they don't tell who it's anonymous, the charge or the complaint, basically was that, there was some things going on at the high school that, during testing, and they just wanted the, OIG, which is the Office of Inspector General, to know that. And therefore, we had already, and I know Mrs. Mullins was here, during testing, we had someone brought to our attention that a student was in a closet testing. We took statements from students, we have all of that, and I have all of that information. I called the Office of Inspector General, and they told me that, as long as I, look into these allegations or whatever, and if I deem it okay, then we're good. So,
Is there anything specific in there?
yes, and I can send you, I'll
Okay,
give you a copy.
And what you had known and what they alluded to were the same thing? Okay.
Other than, couple of accusations about the superintendent and the school board, which I've already cleared up and I don't know. I went through, and you can read it, it basically talks about, the, Fortify Florida and how it was reported, and, I mean, it's all stuff that we've documented, and back in, when testing occurred, we have it covered.
Dr. Barfield, have you forwarded that to Mr. McKinley? Is he aware?
I think he was on the original email, but I will check,
I think you might need to
okay?
at least be aware of that, in case we need to.
I know that the Chancellor of Education was,
So
and that's all I have.
that app was used as part, this complaint came through via the app that's publicized all over the campus.
So the original complaint, the student, according to this anonymous person, the student put in a Fortify Florida complaint. And when that student did that, it notifies several of us, there's several people on that. I'm one of them, several of Ron's one of them, the principal. When we get that, then we automatically knew there was an issue, and then we had the principal at the school do an investigation. And so what I said was, I want written statements, if there's any, if there's anything found, and there was nothing. So. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Barfield. All right, we'll go to school board member comments. I'll start tonight, how about that? We'll just change it up, I don't like being at the end. So, Mr. Thomas and I, you can come up if you want, but, had a discussion with Mr. Thomas about buses, for sports events, because, some of our athletes were told our buses can't leave for their games until 4:30. So I asked Mr. Thomas, do we need to buy another bus? What's going on? And he told me that, he believes we have enough buses in the fleet, and he does have a plan to get another one. I'll let him tell you that, but I just want to make sure that we can get our athletes to their games on time. And then the issue of athletic teams having to pay for the SRO at their events also came up, so I just wanna clear the air and get that all on record as to who pays, do we have enough buses for athletics, and who pays for the SROs at athletic events?
So I'm gonna address the SROs, and then I'm gonna let, Mr. Thomas, the school district pays for the SROs, that is not coming out of the athletes, they do not pay for that.
Okay.
And, we have,
Even the extra time,
yes, sir. I don't know where that, that's something I heard also, and I'm like, no, we pay for that, I mean, that comes out of, the general fund. And in this past year, it was more than their salaries, their overtime. So I have said, we have got to be, we want our kids safe, but we do not need an SRO going to every away game. Every school district provides that when you get there. So, I
So
don't,
there's no truth that a sports events has to pay for the SRO to be at their.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
no
I'll
ma'am.
make that clear. And then, Mr. Thomas, do we have enough buses? Why are athletes having to wait until 4:30? You told me it was a driver issue. The driver has to finish their run, but if the driver is a coach, why would that affect them?
It would if they were the coach, but we only have one coach that's possibly a driver. And so the limiting factor is the drivers, we have the buses. When we, the earliest our routes get back to either school is about 4:30. And that's when I have a driver available to then quickly get onto the diesel bus and take them to where they need to go. I've tried 1,000 different ways, I'm being, have a volunteer, but I've tried a lot of different ways to fiddle with that, but it's an absolute, I think you'll agree, our routes take precedence. And so when I only have a limited number of drivers, it's the best I can do.
So you told me we have, well, I looked it up, we have 12 routes.
Right.
And we have 12 electric buses,
We actually have 13, so
okay? And so how many diesel buses do we have?
we have 3 that are in top condition and one that we are putting together to have it in top condition.
And
then
so
we-
sometimes, like the day I spoke to you, 2 EVs were down,
Mhm,
so you had to substitute them for the diesels.
right.
So in that situation, we might be short a bus.
Well, the drivers would have gotten back and we would have.
And we use the same bus.
Same bus.
But normally, if everything's running, there's 3 diesel buses available for sports.
Yes, ma'am.
Are those EVs back running now?
We have 2 back running now. We still have 2 down, but they are being repaired as we speak.
So 2 diesels are running routes now?
As of, well, right now there's 4, but 2 of the EVs are completed in West Palm, we have to do.
Oh, okay, don't have them back. So you had an idea that I'd like you to share with the rest of the board about how we could get another bus.
So we have quite a few diesels that are sitting on the yard, out in the yard, and they're various states of disrepair, but in my opinion, they're not worth keeping. What I'd like to do is sell them at auction, use that money to purchase another new bus. So, I believe we could get at least 1 quality bus, possibly even 2, out of the funds that we use by getting rid of
And a new bus is how much? 180 or something?
something like that.
Can you also address with the board about the church van and how we cannot use that, because that's something else we could sell?
We could sell the church van. According to Mr. Manspeaker, who is the person at the DOE for transportation, he has told us that van, that church van cannot be driven by someone without the CDL and the driver and the bus. So at that point, it's basically the same as a bus. And since we have enough buses, in my opinion, the church van doesn't really offer us any advantage. One of the reasons we were excited about it is we thought that someone without a bus driver endorsement on their CDL could drive it, but as it turns out, we can't. So
But now we had sports teams use that last year. And if we're running short on buses for sports teams,
we, of course, I
I
don't
mean,
think
do
we're
they,
gonna run
do
short,
they
but
like it? Do they wanna use
you
them?
know, again, you have to have a bus driver to drive
Yeah.
it, so it's,
Is that the van that got rear-ended?
no, man, that was a little bit.
But I also want to say, we have put a lot of energy into trying to get the coaches to get their drivers their CDLs. We've advertised, we have a bus over in the church parking lot in LaBelle, you know, drive Glades County. I mean, we have really tried to recruit drivers, and it's not that we're not paying enough. I spoke to, Dan's counterpart in Hendry County, and he basically said the same thing. You can't find drivers that want to the additional, responsibility. And, you know, also, when I spoke to, his counterpart in Hendry County, I said, hey, do you have any drivers that might wanna make extra money? And he said, oh, definitely. But they can't fill what they've got, so much less, you know, it's just difficult. And I understand the coaches saying, or being upset because they can't leave, but really and truly, we have to, at some point, we're gonna have to put a hard line down, because we have to save every bit of instructional time we can get for our students in those classes. And I know that all the coaches, because I'm an athletic, or not, I'm not an athlete, but my kids are involved in sports, and my kids are involved in sports, so but it kept all my kids busy and we were all involved, but what's more important, athletics or they're having their time academically? And we either have to pick schools that are closer to us or find a way to maybe play some Saturday games. I don't know what the answer is, but, you know, hard times call for, you know,
I understand. I just, when I'm approached with these questions, I wanna have the right answer to tell people. I was pretty sure about the SRO, that seemed crazy. But, but I do know we have like games scheduled at 5 o'clock. We have some middle school games. So if you can't get a bus till 4:30 and your game is at 5 o'clock, that's gonna be really tight, but.
and the other thing is also making sure that your coaches have notified transportation. That, I mean, they can't tell us the day of that they need a bus. Or that they, oh, sorry, we changed the game, forgot to tell y'all. We've already told them, if you wait to the day of, you're not getting a bus.
Well, the answer is that one of the coaches, whether it's head coach or assistant coach, needs to get a license to drive a bus. That's the answer. Because it sounds to me like 90% of the time we have a bus if we had a driver. So how important is it that you get to your games?
Exactly. Of course, that's a difficult situation because they have to go out of town to be trained, and it can take up to 2 weeks. And so, I would encourage them, I tried to encourage them over the summer, and there was no bites, but then all of a sudden school starts and now a few want to get trained, so.
Well, good.
That's about right.
Let's get 'em.
I would do that, so.
Because the idea, I think you and I talked about the teacher being a bus driver and how great that would work. And it would save us on insurance and all kinds of things. And there's teachers in my mind that I know that I think would do it. We could somehow make it, incentivize it enough for them that they can make extra money. I don't think it would be double dipping either. I mean, I guess their hours, so we have to make sure of that, but anyway, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I believe that's all I have. So, Ms. Clement?
How many vans do we have for transportation?
We have the church van, which
What
is,
does that mean? And I don't wanna guess.
we bought it from the church,
Thank
from a church in Okeechobee.
you.
Sorry, I probably should,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm like, okay, got it.
it's like
It
16.
wasn't that expensive, that was the good thing.
Yeah, we got a really good deal on it, and it was really great while it lasted, but they said we can't use it, so.
But you can use it
If
if
we
you have
had-
a driver.
Right, now Mona, she does, I know softball team takes it quite a bit.
So it can be used as long as people follow.
They took it to their state playoffs.
See,
Let
perfect
me,
size for
let me
them.
clarify that. We found out this last year because we talked to Mr. Van Speaker, and he said that the church van is legal if we were to say, if we were to call an independent company and they were to come and drive for us, they could drive that van or that small bus. But they're saying that if we own it, it is not built to standards of a regular school bus. So we actually cannot use that church van to drive students to games because it does not fit the recommendations, the requirements of a school bus.
Because it has seat
Again,
belts in it.
if this pro want, own that, and we say, hey, can we rent that from you? And we could do that, that's legal, that's
Is that
fine.
for sale?
I'm sorry? But, since we own it, it has to meet the requirements of a school bus, and it just doesn't have all the safety things in it.
So even if it's a certified school bus driver,
Doesn't matter, we can't drive it. So we're better off selling it.
Or donating it to a local entity and then renting it or something.
Can do that, we can talk about that.
Maybe we could,
Donate
maybe,
it to another church.
That's right.
and it could remain a church
would
van.
like to buy it and then she could,
Who?
you.
Oh, that would be a conflict, but.
Whoever you
No,
give
actually,
it to,
nobody likes me to drive. I have ADD, we don't like
They have to assume liability.
Whoever you give it to would have to assume the liability for the trip, and that's a lot to ask.
All right.
But we can definitely do some out of the box thinking to get it.
But we used to have a big van to answer Ms. Clemens' question.
Yes.
We used to have a 11
There was-
passenger or something, do we have
We
that?
have the journey van, and that it sits probably 6 or 8,
Yeah.
7,
We have 3 vans.
3.
The state has a law that says that we can only use, I think it's 9 passenger, and that's the largest we can go. So they make bigger vans are affordable, but the state says we can't use them to transport. So we have 3 that fit the 9 passenger category, and we use those. One's gotta have a little work done to it.
That's one of the ones with one of the cross-country team uses. We use them for like smaller groups that go places.
And anyone can drive that,
Yes.
I mean, with a driver's license.
So if a club sponsor is taking a group of kids to Orlando,
Yes.
5 kids and a sponsor, they can take off and the sponsor drives the van.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Clement, I'm sorry.
That's all.
We got all up into your questions.
That's all I have.
Anything else? Okay. Mr. Lucky?
I don't have
I don't have anything
Okay. Awesome.
covered, none.
Awesome. All right, any information items, Ms. Carlo? Any dates we need, any changes? Everything's good. All right, seeing nothing further, we'll adjourn. Meeting adjourned.
They keep trying to church.
I'll be right back.
We'll be right back.